To Tottenham and to Daniel Levy, if you're watching this, when you come to Singapore, I would like two things. One, please don't have a manager because I think that's hilarious. And two, please sell Harry Kane.
Oh,
I didn't. Hello and welcome to the last episode of the English Premier League season right here on Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys.
And me, Yahoo editor Keong, and we have good old Spurs fan Daryl back up with us again.
Hello everyone, I'm back for
And
the last time.
He's brought a nice green jersey. Is that because you're sick of the season? It's got that vibe. What's this jersey? What year is this jersey?
It was 2 years ago.
Really?
The COVID season. I think it was Spurs' second kid.
That
says a lot.
That says a lot.
It was in lockdown. Now it's back out, guys. It's back out.
Oh,
Nice,
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah,
Very
thanks
nice.
for doing it. I have to say, thank Daryl because he came along to our first live audience event last week. And thank you who came along and thank all of you who watched it. It was great, Keong.
Great. Good. Everybody's commenting on it, which is fine.
Yeah, and it'll be the first of many. We'll be back again
Hopefully.
with more
Next
live sessions next season. So
All right.
thanks for that. All right, let's get into the season. It has concluded.
Oh, at last.
At last, yes, I had that
This is a
vibe.
long season.
I had that
This
vibe.
felt- yeah.
I wrote the piece, as you know, for Yahoo, which is available on all Yahoo platforms. It's probably on the screen right now. Saying just that I felt that towards the end, it was a little bit,
yeah.
it just went on forever.
Yeah, because we had that World Cup break in between,
Yeah.
It's like already
Yes.
everything is, we are so drained after, like midway near March or April, you're like, oh, get it over and done with. And you know what? Once Arsenal fell off the race, and then it's like all of us like, get it over and done with, right?
It was a highlight for you, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I hope.
But did you think
That was the highlight. That
I
was
know,
the highlight.
but
for-
you said just now, you started the season, you won 4-1, Tottenham. You finished the season, you won 4-1.
4-1.
But it felt like 15 years passed.
Yeah,
I turned
World of
grey through
difference,
the season.
managers change, this
What
and
did you
all that.
think of the season overall?
I think the season, we really felt it with the World Cup being in the middle. I think everyone started the season, we enjoyed it, and then the World Cup came, and then we felt, give us more football.
Oh.
But then after that, I think when we got into March and April, I think that's when a lot of people felt it like, it's been a lot of football. And then we already had like announcements of some of the teams coming to Asia for games.
Oh,
We
more
felt,
football again.
maybe we just need a bit of a break. It also depends how your team is performing.
Yeah.
For Spurs fans, difficult after Conte left and then like one manager to another.
Well-
I guess maybe if you're an Arsenal fan, it was quite fun to the last month.
Yeah.
Your Man City fans, you're kind of, how?
Well,
Yeah, I
we
agree.
still
The
got
two Man
finals.
City fans
Yeah.
in Singapore will be happy.
Yeah, two of them. But you make a good point there. I'm just thinking of it. And we were messing around just now in the men's room, but that's a whole different story. Talking about the European Super League, right? And how he still thinks Tottenham should be in it, right?
They
after
invited us, guys.
All right.
All
But
right.
after
Okay,
that
okay,
season.
okay.
But this season, I would say, is another reason against the European Super League. We just have too much football now. It's saturation point, right? I don't want to sound like an old uncle, but when I was younger, there was only one live game a week, right?
Yep.
When I was living in England, and it would be a really big deal. It didn't matter who the game was. It could be even his mob. It could be Tottenham against Norwich or something. And me and my dad would watch it. It was a really big deal. Do you not feel that we've reached I won't say tipping point, but it's just too much.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
like
less is
Champions
more.
League, and then international football, and then some other leagues, and then a Europa League, Conference League. Everything comes in, and it's just saturated at football every time.
I think it depends really on your age. I think for us, we've been watching football for a couple of decades, and you kind of feel it. When I started watching football, all I knew was the English Premier League,
Maybe.
and we only had the highlights on Sundays. So that was 1 hour. So that wasn't enough for me, right? I would record it and I would watch it every day.
Yeah.
For that 1 hour.
Don't make out you're
So-
like really younger than us. You're only a
Yeah,
few
just a few
years younger
years,
than us.
and
we will not reveal my age,
Yeah,
guys.
let's not act like he's 25 or
I
anything
know.
like that. This is the Three Old Farts podcast brought to you by Yahoo. All right, let's get it right.
But I think over the years, you watch more and more football, and then there's more leagues. You know the history
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then now you do feel there's too much content. But I think maybe for the younger generation,
Which you are, right? Apparently.
They just watch the highlights. Like all we need is the highlight. Like on Sunday, I watched the Spurs game and I didn't even start early. Usually I start half an hour early, get into the preview and all that. This one I just got on 10 minutes after kickoff and watch it. And then on Monday I just watched the highlights of all the other games. And
that's what we
after
do.
a while, it did hit me like, Leicester were just champions less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now they went down. And then Everton, like they were so close to going down. I thought they went down, but like they pulled it off in the end.
He was so upset. He was so
like
upset.
after a while, you're like, there's all these stories that relate back to me, and I think fans, you do think about it, and then you find out like, hey, this small team, Luton Town, are coming up to the Premier League. The stadium is like going through other people's homes to get there. There's still a lot that you want to know, but you just feel that after a while,
that was a special story, and we'll save that at the end. But you make a really good point there, Daryl, about the younger generation that you've just put yourself in. But I think it's true. My daughter, thanks to the wonderful StarHub package we talked about before, she wakes up Sunday mornings, she hits all the highlights. The 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. You can literally time it. You can boil the kettle, come back, watch one highlight, And
you can skip the first 10 seconds because it's the ad.
It's the ad. You've got it all worked out. So this is the world we live in. It's mass, quick consumption. So we don't need any more football at this point.
Yeah.
I think we can take a breather.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I hope the clubs and the EPL understands that, we don't need any more football anymore, but
they won't.
They won't.
It
They will
makes
just
too much
throw
money.
No, it's money.
Yeah, all I would say is a little David Moyes goes a long way. Just a little David Moyes is enough. All right, let's go through the season then. Let's rate the season on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you give it?
For the season as a whole, I think it's a 7 upon 10. For Liverpool, my team, 5.5 upon 10 at most. It has been a dreadful slog of a season. Oh yeah, we have some high points like the 7-0 Man U win. That one will
beating
forever.
Bournemouth 9-0.
That one, okay.
That will be talked about forever.
but
the
7-0 will be talked about forever.
Yeah.
So that's one highlight, but the rest has been dreadful. And the season itself, well, had it not been Arsenal, sorry about that. Had it not been Arsenal, the whole season would be like a bit soulless, a bit drama free. But Arsenal made it sort of like, wow, can they do it? Could they? Can they? But in the end, they couldn't. So
could not agree more until about the last month or so.
But at least they gave it a shot.
Yeah, I 100% agree. What about you, Daryl? What mark would you give it out of 10 for the season?
I think overall for the Premier League season, about 7, 8 out of 10. Pretty good season. A few teams were disappointing, like Spurs, Liverpool were disappointing, but Man City did well to pace themselves and then overtake Arsenal. Arsenal definitely overachieved. Man United are back in some way, finished third. Got a cup, got another cup final. So as a Man United fan, I think you can't complain.
They will still complain.
Newcastle spent a bit of money and they got up to third, fourth. Like they got fourth in the end and they were third and they were up there throughout the whole season. Aston Villa fans will be very happy also.
Brighton fans, the two of them in Singapore.
Brighton as well. So you can see there are quite a lot of teams that did well. A few teams that clearly underperformed. And I think if you take away Arsenal, then would Man City just slowly jog their way to another league,
I think they effectively did by the end, right?
I think there was a moment where like the Newcastle was in it at the start, and then towards the midpoint of the season, we felt like, hey, will Man U be able to get in there? But it didn't. And then Arsenal was the only one who were almost winning, and I was worried for myself as a Spurs fan. But then, unfortunately for them, the draws and then a loss here and there.
I mean, I know I'm a bit of a grumpy old man. I'll admit it right now. But I can't give this season more than 5.
What?
Wow.
Or 6 at a
really
push.
Grumpy.
Wow.
Because, and I wrote this in the piece, right? If you take the whole season, Qatar got the World Cup it wanted, Abu Dhabi got the league title it wanted, and Saudi Arabia got the Champions League they wanted. How on earth is that a cause for celebration? I do not know. It does feel like the geopolitical exercise is complete. You should almost be saying that in the Emperor's voice from Star Wars, the journey is complete. It does feel a bit like that. I give Man City, a team to watch, a solid 9 out of 10 because the way they pulled it all together, the way they recalibrated to fit Haaland was extraordinary. But all of the Middle Eastern teams dominated. Man U were pretty poor. Liverpool were pretty poor. Newcastle, well, that's because of the Saudis. And the Cinderellas got relegated.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there left to do? Shoot Bambi? I don't know what else we could have done this season.
If West Ham win the Conference League, would you rate it higher than 5?
No, because it's the Mickey Mouse Cup. When West Ham run out for that final, and what's the cup called?
Conference League
The
Cup.
UEFA Conference League.
I don't even know what the cup's called, and my own team is in it. If they come out singing "Who's the leader of the gang that's made for you?" MICKEY MOUSE, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup that means nothing.
Okay.
I won't even watch it live. I'll just see the highlights in the morning. Honestly, I cannot contain my indifference. It's really hard. But hey, let us know what you think. Is it a Mickey Mouse Cup? What would you give this season out of 10? Send your comments to
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
All right, let's look ahead to next season. We know Man City's going to be there. Goes without saying. Who realistically is going to challenge them?
If you want to be cynical, Newcastle and Man U will be there. Because they got... And if Man U still goes through, wow, they're going to be quite... I think those two are be the clear challengers. The others is touch and go. I think Arsenal, can they come back from the disappointment of this season? That's a big question. Liverpool, can they rebuild? Another big question. Spurs, can they get a manager? It's another big question.
Yeah. Daryl, could your eyes get any wider? You're looking at him in horror.
And Chelsea, they got Pochettino right now, just
Good signing.
announced.
Good signing for them.
But Pochettino likes a lot of control. Can he get as much control as he can from Todd Boehly?
That
Not
I
sure.
agree with.
A lot of question marks.
I agree.
So the only two possible contenders right now, Manchester United and Newcastle, who are the most stable after this
He's gone
season.
wide-eyed again. Why are you not? What does he say?
But I think that's not bad, right? Like, if you know that Man City
No, do you agree
are
first?
the reigning champions, I agree that City will be the clear favourites,
Of course,
followed by
of course.
United and Newcastle, because both clubs have had one season with the new manager, new players, and they will just need a few more players, maybe like 3 players, maybe 5 players to really push on for the title. You definitely have to count Arsenal because they are like ahead of schedule in terms of development.
Correct.
Because they got in all the young players. They have a great first 11. It's just the subs is the issue. You can see like so many injuries the last few games. And then like Thomas Partey was playing right back. Just couldn't deal with the injuries.
But will they seriously have the budget to invest the kind of numbers that they need?
I think no. So they have to find like young players who are good players. Like if they need a right back, someone like Kyle Walker-Peters or Tariq Lamptey as a backup to like Tomiyasu and Ben White who plays at right back, right? I feel like talking so much about Arsenal is not good. So then
It's good for the soul, man. It's good for the soul. I can't believe I put my hands on a Tottenham jersey.
And then recently, like Chelsea just signed Pochettino, so he'll get in there and work with the players, but it'll take time. So imagine like Chelsea will be like Newcastle and Man United this season. A lot of like integration.
Your team how?
So it come to Spurs. So I found out that actually when Chelsea, they have like 2 sporting directors. And they zoomed in on Poch and they signed him after 60 days.
And you don't even have a manager?
Yeah, we don't even have... we don't even have a sporting director. The new like chief football officer only starts 1st of July. And then we're talking about a new manager. Guys, the new manager... We will be lucky, right? If when Spurs come on 26th of July to Singapore, that we have a new manager. I'm telling you,
I hope you
they may not have a new manager.
Please.
I will offer my services. I will offer my services for that Tiger Cup final against Jose's Roma, who may have won the Europa League at that point.
No, I'm going to put this out there
As a Spurs fan,
now.
I'm very worried, but I'm up for the challenge, guys.
I want to put this out there.
I'm calling Mr. Levy.
No, this is to
Mr.
Tottenham.
Levy.
This is to Tottenham and to Daniel Levy. If you're watching this, when you come to Singapore, I would like 2 things. 1, please don't have a manager because I think that's hilarious. And 2, please sell Harry Kane.
Oh, I think the Spurs
every week is
fan will
Harry
just
Kane.
flipped out.
Oh, if there's just an empty chair at the press conference.
Shall we protest?
It will still be, what's his name? Ryan, right? Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason.
He's still- come on, Ryan. You're still here, Ryan. Come on, Ryan.
Ryan will be like, what are my holidays, guys?
Oh,
What?
that'd be fantastic.
That'd be really
Nothing pleases me more than Spurs struggling. Honestly.
We'll just get it right.
They
We'll get it right.
just put Daniel Levy as the manager. Just put them.
Yeah, have done
but-
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely a new manager isn't going to come in like the month of June. You got to wait until July, and then by the time you get started, it's too late. By
and every time
9th of August, you start the season. Spurs will not be ready. It will be like
every time there's
one
news
creative
that Spurs
midfielder
are going
shot.
to get this manager, the manager immediately say, I'm staying with the club.
We'll end up signing like Naby Keita or something like that.
Funny. All right, so that's Spurs. They're not going anywhere. But I would agree with most of what you've said. Newcastle, obviously, I think will be there, but I just can't get excited about that.
Yep.
I do think, okay, Chelsea, Man U, and Liverpool. Chelsea, yes, if Ted Lasso steps back, Todd Bowley, and lets Pochettino manage. If he doesn't, they're doomed. So Chelsea, that takes care of them. Liverpool, yes, if Fenway Sports Group know how serious this rebuild is. Because what are we talking about? At least a backup at centre-back.
At
Definitely
least 2 or 3 midfielders.
Correct. Maybe a right back if you want to push Trent Alexander-Arnold. And look, I like Darwin Núñez. I think he's a hard-working guy, but I don't know.
Jury's still out.
I don't think you need another season on him.
Do you know the Community Shield? Man City played Liverpool, right? And then it was the debut for Haaland
both of them.
and for Núñez, right? And everyone was like, hey, Núñez did well. He scored.
scored.
And then
Not
Haaland didn't
everyone.
score.
Not on this podcast. Check the cameras. Check the history. Check the YouTube. Did we say that?
Yeah, but,
We
9-10 months on, and then like Haaland 36 goals, and then
Community Shield means nothing.
Núñez still trying to settle in, so you never know.
Jury's still out. I agree.
But all I would say on Man U, just one word on Man U, they have to seriously back Erik ten Hag now because he has overachieved. We make fun of him, but he has. To win the League Cup, to reach the FA Cup final, to finish third. Right, on the final, I was just looking here, right? In the January transfer window, Liverpool got in Gakpo, right? That was 37 million. Newcastle spent 45 million on Gordon. Chelsea spent hundreds of millions on Fernandes and whoever else. And United, they had to replace Ronaldo. Eriksen had a serious injury in January, and all they bought was Marcel Sabitzer and the world's greatest player, Wout Weghorst. We love Wout Weghorst on this show, but that's not enough, is it? To get third,
which is why
that is a miracle.
Which is why Erik ten Hag during the post-match he was saying we need more investment, even though they already spent 200 million already. But no. Yeah, fair enough. We get what you mean. You still need to invest. Yeah,
but we still love Wout Weghorst. He's still my player of the season.
Brilliant.
All right, let's move on then. Let's talk about Everton. I want to talk about Everton. Can they bounce back next season, or are they just
can't they score Bournemouth? Why can't Bournemouth score?
Are they just doomed to this perennial cycle of bust?
Just let it continue. Every season they go, what's going to fall in, and they come out. They got a stadium. They are building a stadium, so a lot of money will be spent on building a stadium. How are they going to rebuild that dysfunctional team is a big question.
They're very lucky that Chelsea has stole the limelight because they are equally, as you say, a dysfunctional club. You've got Moshiri there. He spent a lot of money, but the guy who's been there forever, Bill Kenwright, who still has, I think, about, 1.3% in the shareholding stakes, but has a massive influence still on the club. Enough. That board is broken. It's not worked for years.
And now that Chelsea got Pochettino, you wonder if Everton still want to stick with Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche as a saver of relegation threatened teams, he might be able to do it for like a half a season.
Yeah.
But for a whole season, when they need to rebuild and then try to move out on the things, I don't know whether Sean Dyche is the right person.
Yeah, fair enough. Let us know what you think, as always, at all the usual places. Right, teams bouncing back. Leicester went down, Southampton went down, Leeds went down. Are they coming back next season?
I don't think Southampton are coming back.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the best chance is Leicester. Actually.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they've always been a yo-yo team before their championship winning days. And so they do have some bit of a muscle memory on how to, and they still have quite a strong backing from the owner. That
I agree. I think they're the most stable financially of the three clubs. They run very prudently. They trimmed all their debts, so they're debt free. Leeds is a bit of a mess. They should have sorted out Bielsa. You either let Bielsa go to the end of the season or you sack him much earlier.
Exactly.
It's an erratic mess there. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, right? Did you see that Gary Lineker has been trolled in the last couple of days for saying, if you'd have told me 10 years ago we'd win the league, win the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Champions League, and get relegated, I would have bitten your hand off. And a lot of fans went, why would you want your club to be relegated, you idiot? But I don't want to say, well, I'm going to say it, That is big club superiority. That is big club fans talking. Anyone who follows a small club like me knows that when you're used to relegation, when it's a regular thing, I would take 10 relegations if it meant I won one league title in my lifetime.
Everybody will remember 2016
Honestly, the arrogance of these Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea fans, Man City, whoever it is, shouting at Lineker. You would take a title win over just about anything, right? I mean, you haven't won it since 1961.
League title, FA Cup, you won the Community Shield, got into the Champions League. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they sign up for that? Yeah.
They
I
would,
think it's just unfortunate for Leicester because of COVID, and then like King Power couldn't back them up as they usually did. And then they couldn't sell like the
honestly,
top players.
sometimes fans are
So now
too
they gotta
fickle.
reset a bit.
They're too deluded.
And relegation isn't the end all of everything. There's always a chance. I think, like I said, Leicester will have a good chance of bouncing back. Then either Southampton or Leeds.
It'll be tough for Leicester because a lot of players will leave, the contracts expire, and then guys like Maddison, Harvey Barnes or Vardy, maybe only 1 year left.
Yeah,
they won't want to play in the Championship.
but they're a stable club.
Yeah.
Financially, I think they're one of the
they
stronger
can get
clubs.
the
a
young
lot of
players
new
to come
players.
again.
And I hope they climb back. But some of these fans, just too deluded. Speaking of deluded fans, let's talk Man U and the FA Cup final. Who's going to win and why?
So the few weeks ago we were talking about it. It's either a very tight Man U win or a Man City
5 or
blowout.
6. Yeah, I'll go with
Or
that.
Man City will just
I'll go with
kick
that.
the butt out of Man United and win like 4 or 5-0. What do you think?
I heard that Wout Weghorst hasn't scored yet for Man United.
I don't
Like,
think
Not in the league. He
Not in the
scored
league,
in the Europa
Oh,
Cup.
that
or
would be
whatever.
magnificent.
see,
That'd
so-
put an idea in
yeah,
my
so
head.
that's that
They
line.
scored a FA Cup winner.
Weghorst scores the winning goal that
He'll
beats
be Man
Manchester
United
City
folk hero forever.
and ends the treble. I'll take a relegation for that. I will personally take a relegation for that.
Because as a Man United fan, you're like, oh man, look, Man City have come out in the past 10 years. They've won everything. Like, if they win the treble, United fans will be like, oh, it's another dagger to the heart. And that means they also win the Champions League. So that's, slight dagger to the heart.
Because they will always, Man U fans will always say, we won the correct treble. League, Cup, FA Cup. And
I hope it. I can't.
Weghorst could
I'd
deny
love to
that.
see it. I can't see it, obviously, because I think Casemiro doesn't have enough support in central midfield. I think he's fabulous.
The midfield is terrible.
And they don't score enough goals, Man U. Not against that team.
That's
So Rashford's the only guy. I hope I'm wrong. Well, Weghorst, it's on you, my friend. Score the winner. Be a
Or
folk
just
hero
score the
forever.
penalties, shoot out the last goal.
A real scuff penalty that goes in off the post,
Goes in off the post.
hits David De Gea on the back of the head, and then walks and rolls over the line. That's what we want to see at Wembley. Make it happen. All right, let's wrap this thing up with a nice feel-good story.
Let's finish the season with a good story.
Good story. Luton Town.
Luton Town from the Championship playoffs facing Coventry City.
Yep.
Now, if those people are as old as us, you know that both of them are once in the first division.
He's much younger than us.
He's much younger than us.
Decades younger than us, apparently.
Both Luton Town and Coventry City in the 1980s, and they were in the first division.
Yeah, I used to watch them every week. Yeah.
So and Luton got that very small stadium, Kenilworth Road, which is
Road,
I think it's artificial pitch, isn't it?
It used to be.
Used to be, right? Yeah. So sort of like got a fading memory of that team, and then now they're back after the playoffs finals. They beat Coventry City via penalty shootout. So actually, they actually dropped all the way until the non-league.
Correct.
Non-league.
Where Wrexham were before.
Where Wrexham were, and then slowly made their way. 2014, they finally got promoted back to League 2. And
amazing.
in 9 years, they're from League 2, League 1, Championship, and now back to the Premier League. The first team to ever go from non-league status all the way up to Premier League.
Yeah. I love everything about their story.
Everything about this is so wonderful. And then there's one more guy, Mr. Radok Mpanzu.
Yeah, great. Pele Radok
Mpanzu.
Great name.
This guy, 29 years old, stuck with Luton from non-league all the way up to Premier League.
Correct. Been
What
with them 10
a
years.
story.
Brilliant. It's never been done.
Never been
and
done.
I don't think it'll ever be done again. And what I love about the Luton story is people are saying, because it's quite a rundown stadium.
Yes.
The capacity is only 10,000
They
plus.
need to actually expand it.
And it's very hard to expand because they've
Housing.
got terraced houses all around. I've been to the stadium. And so it's going to be hard to develop, but they have to make some changes to fit English Premier League requirements. Like they have to have 50 cameras and things like that. So there's been some stories, people saying, imagine in Manchester City has to go through they call it the shitty edge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All this. I'm like, good. Why are you so special?
That's the whole fun
That's what
of it.
football is. I
Yeah.
want Man City, Man U, Liverpool
I
to
hope
go
they
through the
put
crappy
cold
end.
showers are cold in the
Yeah.
away
Oh, the dressing rooms are cold. I hope they're tiny. I hope they leak.
And then see how they react to it. That would be wonderful.
Enough pampered stuff, but it's a
Yeah.
great story. But on a semi-serious note, just to wrap it up, I was looking at the pictures of the stadium. It is a very small, cramped stadium, but it did remind me of Holgung to make it full
Exactly.
circle, right?
Small clubs.
It's about the same size. With an extra stand, you could get the same capacity in both stadiums.
10,000.
Long-term development, clear plan, good coaching, good community engagement. There is no difference between
Yeah, and-
Luton Town and Holgung. If they can do it, we can do it.
Yeah, and
Serious.
I read somewhere that their press publicity, they didn't want to do any much, just focus straight on building the squad. No frills, no hype up, no nothing. It's just full focus on building the squad and not any press relations or whatever. It's just brilliant.
Well, it was good enough for Luton. It's good enough for the Singapore Premier League.
Yep.
Let's bring it
Or
here.
Singapore football, yeah.
That'll do.
Yep.
Yeah, so if Luton can do it, can Singapore do it? Let us know. Send all your comments too.
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, and Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
Thank you, Daryl, as always, my friend.
Yep.
What a segue.
What a segue.
What a season.
What a season. Well, I give it 5 out of 10.
Nah,
I give it 5 out of 10. But anyway, we've got lots more to talk about in part 2, where we get stuck into Singapore football, where Han Keong and I attended the Unleash the Raw.
Football conversation.
And we've got plenty to say about that.
Plenty to say.
I registered. They didn't get back to me.
It says it all.
Says it all.
I wouldn't let a Spurs fan in either.
Hey!
All right, we'll see you in part 2. Stay safe. Take care.